Okay, next up, we've got our CrossLIMS team, which is Nate Peppelman and Megan Johnstone. If you guys don't mind passing off that absolutely. Microphone and give someone a clicker. Okay, I'll let you take it away. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Start the presentation. Oh, there we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Nathan Poppelman. I'm a senior software application developer at the University of Cincinnati College of Medicine.
And my name is Megan Johnstone. I'm a clinical research project manager in the College of Medicine at UC as well.
About 15 years ago, I joined a up-and-coming cancer research lab at the James at the Ohio State Medical Center. As a programmer, I was tasked to help researchers collect and organize research data. Now, researchers are underneath enormous amount of pressure to write grants, perform experiments, analyze data, and publish papers. So when they're taking time to research, or time to collect data and organize information, this takes away from their research. So when they actually get this data, it comes in CSV and Excel files. And it also comes into multiple different data systems, which pretty much turns into a data mess. Now, one of the best solutions that we've come across is called a LIMS, which is a Lab Information Management System. This is a digital platform that manages lab data. Now, most LIMS only focus on a handful of these LIMS, or these features that are listed below.
And so as a researcher in a traditional institution, what ends up happening is you have LIMS systems associated with each stop along the pipeline. And so each of these LIMS systems is associated with a licensing fee, which ultimately increases the cost and the time it takes to bring a drug from bench to bedside or any type of therapy. And in addition to this, they're not very collaborative. They're all written in different languages because they're all written in different codes. So this creates an unsecure environment. And so one of the ways that we've addressed this is by consolidating the LIMS system into a single platform. We call this CrossLIMS, which is Cross-Laboratory Information Management System. And what we've done is we've integrated a secure platform that increases all of the physical inventory, mouse colony management, biospecimen repositories into a single platform that reduces the amount of time it takes to bring a therapy from bench to bedside. And ultimately, this reduces the amount of money spent.
Now, CrossLIMS does have a working demo. It does support multiple labs currently. As you can see at the bottom, it also supports multiple labs over potentially multiple different institutions. This really creates a collaboration effect between the labs. Now, don't worry, there are data policies in place to protect sensitive information like patient health information. We do actually have a website. By the end of the year, we're going to release a mobile app as well. Everything in orange here is our back end, which has a database, business logic, but it has a very robust data integration to help with some of the tedious process of data integration and automation. Now, to give you a very brief overview of CrossLIMS, CrossLIMS has multiple different roles, which is manager, user, and mouse tech. We also have 3 different data focuses, which is patient, cell line, and mouse. As you can see, it's tightly integrated within the same system. We have a freezer management, which imagine a small little vial and thousands of vials within maybe a dozen freezers. The researcher is able to go in and actually identify which vial they need for their experiment, and then kind of like a GPS location, find that vial within the freezer really quick. The visualization or the screenshot on the right is kind of the visualization of that box. The same thing with the mouse colony management. Imagine having thousands of mice over dozens of experiments. This is a great way for the researcher and the mouse tech to communicate well with each other and not necessarily use a lot of emails back and forth. But it gives them a great way to see how the colonies are doing real quick. Now, there is a $2 billion LIMS market globally because most labs use multiple different LIMS. But we're going to focus on the 17 cancer centers that are collaborating with the University of Cincinnati Cancer Center, which we're estimating about a $30 million market But as you can see, there's a lot of room for growth.
So our team has met with many decision makers, hospital administrators, and we keep seeing common themes. Security. How are we going to protect patient information? How are we going to protect private information of the researchers? And so we've undergone a security risk assessment, and we're working on making sure that we have a robust system in place for this. What are funding agencies asking for? What are the NIH, the DoD, Department of Defense? What do these people want? We're also looking at data reporting. Is this easy to read? Is it easy to audit? How are scientists going to adapt this in their lab? Is it easy to use? We've made it highly customizable, so only the values that you're interested in is what's reported. We don't need a blank sheet of 1,000 columns with lots of information. We know that we meet and exceed data compliance regulations that are being set, and we ultimately want to reduce the licensing costs and save money, because I'd rather put that money towards research.
Now we do have a very aggressive one-year timeline. This spring, we're looking at a lot of preliminary stuff like the security risk assessment and some test environments. This summer, we're looking at releasing a version 2.0, which is much more enterprise level, setting up infrastructure, database, and security as well. We're looking to release a minimal viable product by the end of the summer. And this fall, starting to release it to multiple different UC labs and looking at some grant options as well. Thank you so much for all your time. This is our contact information if you want to get a hold of us. Does anybody have any questions?
What do you need?
So right now we're looking at looking for some funding, working with other people to, I don't know.
I would just say funding is our big issue right now. We have internal funding to get this off the ground and running, but we are interested in licensing this out to other entities. So it's setting up the corporate infrastructure. Great question. Next.
How much faster do you think a system like this is versus like a current management system? I mean, I think I saw your graphics, but it's just not clear to me exactly, like, as concisely as you can, what is the actual improvement a researcher or a lab would see if they were using your application?
We have one example, and we know that it is years. So on average, it takes a therapy 10 years to get to market from bench to bedside. This system has brought multiple therapies to bench from bedside, or bench to bedside in 5 years.
Yeah, that's an impressive value proposition. Thank you very much, guys.